So here we have a basic representation of the main players in our solar system. However, in recent years, there is an additional astounding aspect of this that's been coming to light. And I'm referring to the whole situation of Planet X, Nibiru, and the Nemesis system. This situation gives rise to a huge question, and that is it real, or is it a lot of internet hype? Well, to begin with, these newspaper articles are mostly from around the year of 1982, when there was a large moment or accident of disclosure about Planet X that was quickly silenced after it flashed across our newspapers. The thing is, that was all before the internet, thus answering the assumption that this is all just internet hype. In the quest for data and information, we have a highly valuable package of intel handed to us by the authoritative body NASA. The valuable information I'm referring to is the official announcements regarding the discovery of the Trappist1 system. For example, take this article from Popular Mechanics, Science and Astronomy News, dated the 22nd of February 2017, reads, 7 Earth-like planets orbit one nearby star. The red dwarf has 7 planets the size of Earth. This article repeats in lockstep the data and details of the Trappist1 system as issued by the establishment. This chart shows, on the top row, artist conceptions of the 7 planets of Trappist1, with their orbital periods, distances from their star, or in other words, distance from the red dwarf called Trappist1, and also the radii and masses as compared to those of Earth. A solar system that looks like Jupiter. Trappist1 is technically an ultra-cool dwarf star. And as for the size, Trappist1 is only slightly bigger than Jupiter. The 7 planets around Trappist1 orbit much closer to their host star than we do. The star's inner planets have orbits that resemble Jupiter's Galilean moons. All 7 orbit much closer to Trappist1 than even Mercury orbits the Sun. The planets also pass very close to each other as they orbit. According to NASA, if a person was standing on one of the planet's surface, they could gaze up and potentially see geological features or clouds of neighboring worlds, which would sometimes appear larger than the moon in Earth's sky. This illustration is quite interesting, showing a comparison of Trappist1 and its planets as compared to Jupiter and its main moons. I've given an overview of the Trappist1 discovery in the video on this channel titled About Planet X Part 1. And also a discussion on why the Trappist1 profile and the planetary data is actually a covert disclosure revealing details about the Nemesis system, which is upon us. Or in other words, the Trappist1 system as described by NASA is in fact the Planet X system that I'm talking about through all of these videos on this channel. Here in front of our eyes, we have an event showing that something major is occurring in our solar system. The time display shows it's about 10 past 8 in the evening, and the direction is east. So, question, what is that? In an evening view from this webcam, there should not be a brilliant light source or celestial body as we see there. Now, if this was in the AM time of day, it'd be a different story, because this is where the sun rises. Here's a morning view from this webcam, and as per normal, we see the sun heading on up from the horizon. But here on the 24th of April, 2019, we have this big bright visitor right there in the evening sky. We have a double feature here in the sense that while the whole thing is a major anomaly, there are also these abrupt flashes that we've noted in other videos on this channel. In fact, here comes one now. Voila, there it is. Think about it. What could be going on that would cause a huge burst like that on this anomalous light source? And while we're considering these surges of light, we mustn't forget the fact that this isn't the sun here. It is an unidentified celestial body. Well, here we are 8 minutes into the video already, and really all of this so far has been introductory thoughts that I stuck on the front after I had already arranged the first half of the video. So now we're ready to start at the original beginning. Hello, good evening, good morning. Come with me now, if you will, to conduct some observations that support a rather stern assessment in the outcome of this study. This is number 8 in a series of documentaries under the general title of Planet X in View. Check out this song I wrote to announce the coming of Planet X.
Seems like something changed. Something changed. Everything, 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 everything. Yeah, everything. It's long been said the sky is red wherein this mystery travels. Day by day, it's growing closer. Don't let the people find out, so they carry on as normal.
You can get the full-length version of that song on my other channel. I'll leave a link. The webcam footage playing now is from April 12th, 2019. There are multiple details here that are of profound interest to our discussion, but for now, we've got some other things to address, and hopefully we'll find time in a later video to look a little more closely at this footage. But one thing I just have to point out is this. We'll have to come back to that in a later discussion. A few minutes ago, we were looking at a video from Michael of Earthwatching channel, where he has recorded the Ohio sunset of July 26th. He's captured a stunning situation here, really.
Howdy YouTube. I just thought I'd sit here and get the Toledo skyline sunset for you today. And check this out. I have never seen this many chemtrails. I couldn't get pulled over fast enough, but right about there where that chemtrail sprayed, there was a massive sundog, and within 4 or 5 minutes of me being able to pull over, it vanished. But I'm just sitting here, and it's a beautiful sunset, if you don't mind looking through all the chemtrails. Just look at the one. There's another one above the sun. Look close. Drop another trail.
Okay, what are we seeing in this picture? The first thing right off the bat is this. We'll come back to that later. So what else is seen in this picture? Well, we've got the sun proceeding towards sunset, while also the entire sky is obscured by the spraying and the dispersion of chemtrails. I've discussed in earlier videos that one of the express purposes of this program is to literally obscure the sky to prevent the general population of the world from being able to see the various manifestations of the arrival of the Planet X system. Notice this dark spherical shape here. Thus the question arises, what is that? And the correct answer there seems just plain impossible. It's a huge planetary body here in our solar system. Now, in previous videos, I've already addressed the dilemma of how ludicrous and totally impossible that sounds. So, if you would like further explanation supporting this crazy-looking statement, please refer to the earlier videos on this channel. And one in particular would be number 6, I think, Planet X in View number 6. One important factor that comes up often is that there are several planets orbiting the red dwarf star of the Nemesis system, as we touched upon at the beginning of this video. This bit of information is vital to make sense of what we're seeing in our skies these days. An example of how it is crucial to understand this fact is seen in this picture from Michael's June 26th video. A minute ago, we noted this round object. We come back to it now to examine things a little further. Let's trace out the object. And thus, upon closer observation, we realize that there are two objects, or two circular shapes there, and the smaller one on the right is apparently the one in front. So that brings us to now 3 of these round celestial objects we've noted. And so the first one was this down here. Again, let's zoom in a bit on that. You know, I think that seeing an image like this, and like this one, potentially causes us to get a mild case of, or maybe not so mild case, of cognitive dissonance, which in simple terms is to say that we can't believe what our eyes are seeing. Now, one other thing to keep in our awareness about this situation is, again, look at this area here, this overall veil that's been caused by the aerosol spraying program. We must keep that in mind, that it is achieving the intended purpose to conceal the general view. And while we're looking at this spot, right in front of us there, in the center of the picture, there is a huge planetary body right there. It's quite well concealed, but it also shows through at times.
Gorgeous sunset, gorgeous day. Spent a good portion of the day on my jet skis. Well, the afternoon, I should say. Remodeling a house prior to that.
One last thing before moving on to the next event is this. We've identified a few spherical bodies already in this scene, and we hadn't even noted this one yet. So how can there be one more on top of those that we found already? I mean, seriously? Another one? One potential reaction is to just drop the whole thing, because it's hard enough to entertain the possibility of one of these shadows being cast from a planetary body. But to add on to that, a second, a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, well, it begins to feel like if you stare at the picture long enough, you'll start seeing planets everywhere. This dilemma demonstrates how it is crucial to understand that there are several planets in this situation, as we've touched upon earlier regarding the Trappist1 disclosure. Now check out this event, video recorded by a girl in China, dated in May of 2019. Now this is one amazing bit of footage. In terms of evidence for the case of the existence of Planet X, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate this footage at 12. How does that work on a scale of 1 to 10? Because this video capture by our Chinese unnamed girl breaks right through the top of the evidence scale of 1 to 10 onto the elevated stage of proof. Not evidence, but proof. In the video, we see the sun there, and an additional planetary body near to it. All of us who've been following and studying this subject for years have learned the importance of recognizing a lens flare. Indeed, in the first years of studying this, almost all of such videos like this were lens flares. In other words, a mere reflection, an illusion, was being touted by well-intentioned enthusiasts as Planet X, when in fact, again, it was nothing but a reflection. However, there are methods and indications that enable us to determine with certainty if an object in the camera's eye is in reality one of those notorious illusions. And this object in China Girl's video is not a lens flare. It is literally an additional celestial body. Now the whistling and noise you hear in the background is the actual soundtrack of the video. And just an advance notice, in a moment, out of the blue, bursts the voice of the girl who's filming, and she's quite agitated at what she's seeing.
老公，你快出来看呐！快点儿！快点儿！
在哪儿呢？
天上，我给他录下来了。跑了跑了！
啊，看到了，
看到了吧？就这一瞬间让我录下来了。
哎，怎么回事呢？
哎呀，我的天哪！就是这一瞬间，你就还会追呢，还是会追呢？看着吗？你快看！看见没？出来了！他俩又相交了。这个火火的太阳在追逐他。
玻璃那个反的吧？
天哪！你看是天上的事儿，还是我玻璃事儿？
玻璃事儿。
你看，你不是玻璃， 太阳，2个太阳。世界上存在2个太阳。2012到了，同志们，看到这个奇异的现象了吗？此时此刻，你最想说什么？你才有病呢！我说，2012世界末日的时候，原来还有很多奇迹出现，看到没？那一轮太阳追逐着一轮太阳，他们要合二为一，变成一个太阳，照耀着我们。那就说明什么？说明我们的温暖不会减少，只会加倍。看到2个太阳了吗？2个太阳的光是什么样子？哇塞！
The remarkable event in this video from China Girl is reinforced by photographic and video material from all around the world. Let's take, for example, the video from Marmes Lucindo, Brazil, 13th of May, 2019. And right there is one of the alarming aspects embedded in this video capture, an unidentified planetary body here in our solar system. It's not Jupiter, Venus, or any of the known regular planets. This should be blazing across the headlines of news channels around the world. Let's identify some of the things we can see in this. Here on the left, we have an aircraft distributing more of the chemical mixture that spreads right across the sky, as we've noted. Next, we identify this orb, which in fact is not even there. It's a lens flare, and when we play the motion video, it's very easy to see that, as it's flying and bouncing all over the place. Over here, of course, it's the sun, and that brings us now to the main object of interest in this video, an anomalous, unidentified celestial body at about the 2 o'clock position off the sun. Now we've noted this aircraft and the lovely chemtrail he's doing, and we've observed how this continual spraying from these aircraft creates a veil of obscurity over the sky. Right here in this view, there are at least 4 of the Nemesis planets right in front of us. Yet nobody sees them there. However, being focused on these observations and gaining awareness from discussions such as this, it turns out that you can see something there. May I draw your attention to this area? We've got 2 spherical bodies there. And over to the right, notice this. And let's not forget the bright one. Now there is actually more there that I haven't pointed out yet. So from a slightly different view, we've zoomed out a little bit. I'd like to isolate those objects again. And just for fun, let's give them names. And here we have Barney, Betty, Wilma, and surprise, surprise, here's Fred. And for this small one, we'll call it Pebbles. Okay, well that was just really silly. The main thing here really is to come to grips with these spherical features that are seen here. One point to note here is that without all of that chemical spraying that has covered the sky, well, these objects that we've observed showing through would be far more clearly evident and obvious. And the people or powers that are running this show have issued the decree that this must not be allowed to hit the public mind in that way. And, you know, they may be right. In fact, what do you think? What would be your prognosis? That if tomorrow and the next day it became very evident to all of the general public that some kind of a cataclysmic event was hanging over our heads because of seeing monstrous planets up in the sky that were just there every day, moving around, but getting bigger as the days and weeks passed, and also seeing electrical discharges going on with them, trailing fields of debris, as in thousands of broken up asteroids and debris. Would society hold together in an orderly fashion if that was visibly looming and approaching? We're going to roll again this video from Lucindo to make a few more observations along the way. Wait a minute, let's pause right there. What should we make of this? A minute ago, we looked at this area and noted two spherical bodies. But now, at a different time frame and a different perspective in the camera view, we have this. One slight complication is that at times in the video footage, it appears that the spherical body may actually be this. It's hard to see exactly which one it is, but either way, there's a very huge planet-shaped thing there. So we'll update our observation of this spot from initially the two spherical bodies that we noted to add in the huge one that's right there behind the others. And I guess we'll need another name for this new member of the club, so we'll call this one Mr. Slate. And for those who are not familiar with the Flintstones, Mr. Slate is Fred's tightly strung boss. And a reminder, we also have Wilma, Fred, and Pebbles there on the right-hand side of the sun. Looking at this picture and the other still frames that we've been going through, it can be quite difficult to see the spherical bodies that I've been pointing out. And so it's quite helpful to actually just watch the footage. In fact, it's crucial to be able to check these things within the context of the video in motion. So we'll let the footage just play on now. You will find that there is a lot of abrupt camera movement, some rather chaotic zooming in and back out, along with camera sweeps flying left and right and up and down and everywhere. So please bear with those aspects and be amazed at the unbelievable specific things that Lucindo captured in this video. There's one last thing I want to highlight as we bring this discussion to its conclusion. This celestial body, the one we named Pebbles, is a persuasive and clear declaration that something extraordinary and ominous now hangs over our civilization. Now, an obstacle we encounter at this point is being able to know with certainty that this is real. It seems our mind just keeps falling back to a default position of it must be some kind of a trick of the light. It must be some kind of a reflection. It's just something that's normal. It can't be a celestial body like we're saying. So one small thing we can do to address this is bring forward the video we've looked at from China Girl, by which we now are seeing that this same situation was seen and recorded by Lucindo in Brazil, as well as China Girl from her location. And there is tremendous value toward establishing a fact when you have multiple witnesses that are unrelated, yet declaring the same thing. With regard to the video from China Girl, I call her China Girl because I don't know the name of this person. But even though I don't understand a word of the language, I find it quite interesting, the expression and meanings that come through in her state of alarm dialogue. So we'll play that once more here to lead out, with the video from China and the one from Brazil both in view.
老公，你快出来看呐！快点儿，快点儿！
在哪儿呢？
天上，我给他录下来了。跑了，跑了！
啊，看到了，看到了。
看着了吧？就这一瞬间让我录下来了。
哎，怎么回事呢？
哎呦，我的天哪！就是这一瞬间，你就还会追呢，还是会追呢？看着吧。 你快看，看见没？天哪！你看是天上的事儿，还是我玻璃事儿？
玻璃事儿。
你看，你不是玻璃，
是玻璃，是
太阳，是两个太阳。 世界上存在两个太阳。2012到了，同志们，看到这个奇异的现象了吗？此时此刻，你最想说什么？我说，2012世界末日的时候，原来还有很多奇迹出现，看到没？那一轮太阳追逐着一轮太阳，它们要合二为一，变成一个太阳，照耀着我们。 那就说明什么？说明我们的温暖不会减少，只会加倍。看到两个太阳了吗？两个太阳的光是什么样子？哇塞！